Hello and welcome, blah blah, all of that. Right, okay. I'm going to be frank. There were almost no videos for the next 2 weeks. You see, tomorrow, that's the 2nd, I go on holiday for just about 2 weeks. And my editor has been playing up for the last couple of months. I use Movie Plus X6, and before that I used Movie Plus 5. And a couple of months ago, when I got my new desktop, I started experiencing issues with it. Issues I'd never experienced before. I'd be editing a video and then there'd just be a blank space where there should be visuals or audio. And I'm not the only one who experiences this. Charlie, that's Guardsman111, is using Movie Plus 5 and he gets the exact same issues, which is why he has had a bit of a dry patch in videos, because he's not been able to get it to work at all. It's just not reading his footage. And Evan over at Thorn16 is having similar troubles with Movie Plus. This in itself isn't an insurmountable obstacle. I found many ways to go around it, usually by rendering the video, even with these black patches and silent patches in the middle of it, and I'd then put it back into the editor and reinsert the clips or audio that's missing. And largely you can't tell the difference. But that's why on some there are, like Borderlands and Portal, there are these empty spaces. And that's where I rendered the video and uploaded it without checking. Although the most recent one, which was Portal 10, I think, had one of these. And I swear to God, I watched it through twice and there were no issues. And then I watched it, I uploaded it, and as I was annotating it, it's like, oh, there's a blank patch there. It's too late to fix it. I've already deleted the footage, so nothing I could do. So I apologise for these. It's not me, it's the editor messing up. And I know there's the whole, the bad craftsmen blame their tools, blah blah blah, whatever. It was working fine, and then it stopped working fine. And it's across the board. It's Evan and Charlie are both having the same issues, and it's as if it's just gone, hey, you know what, we've been working really well, because I've been using Movie Plus now for about 3 years. I used Windows Movie Maker for the first 6 months to a year of my channel, and it was awful, as you can imagine. So I switched to Movie Plus, and I've been with them ever since, and it's given me some really good quality videos, you know, really good visuals, and the audio's been pretty good when my mic's been behaving. But recently it's just been going so downhill, it's insane. I mean, even with this video, I've deliberately not recorded it, because I would normally do this as a news video where I'd record myself with camera or webcam, and then edit it together. But with the way that the Movie Plus is acting at the moment, I don't trust that as a method. So I'm just recording this as an audio file and putting it in front of a picture of me. Well, sort of a picture of me. But anyway. Other issues started more recently, because the blank patch is not insurmountable. I found ways around it. But I was doing Achievement Farm Industrial Accident for Bioshock Infinite, and the final render quality was so appalling. Didn't notice it until I was making the thumbnail, which is a screenshot of the video edited. But it's just so pixelated, I couldn't believe it. So I went back and watched it, and yeah, the video is really quite pixelated. I was appalled. Because again, this was after I deleted the footage. And that was the format I was using. It was an MP4. Because I render them, Fraps records as an AVI. So it's really high quality footage, but really huge file sizes. So after I noticed these graphical drops, I began to look into what it was. So after experimenting with other formats other rendered formats, I started using WMV instead, which fixed the graphical issues. It I mean, I still had the blank patches occasionally, but that was the Fraps codec. But I started toying around with that instead, and it seemed to solve the issue. It vastly improved the visual quality again, back up to the standards it was before. Admittedly, the re-rendering required to get rid of the blank patches does reduce the quality a little bit, but on WMV it's barely noticeable compared to MP4. So I was using WMV for a while, and that was fine, but then I noticed some audio issues. Switching to WMV opened up a lot of audio options, because my audio is done as a 48,000 hertz audio sample. That's the quality, this DVD quality, the best quality I can do. That's what my Audacity, that's what I'm using here, Audacity, that's what it exports it as, and that's what Fraps records it as, I believe. However, if you don't get the sample rate, or the bit rate, or whatever it's called right, it makes the audio go funny. While this was never an issue on MP4, I don't know if it accounted for it, or if it just had less options, so it sort of did a more catch-all sort of system. I don't know. I don't know audio stuff well enough to tell. But with this, with WMV, it didn't do any of that. It didn't account for anything. So I'd have to set the settings myself. And there were about 10 options. You may notice it on some of the end hubs. Fever by Bobby Yarsulik plays at the end hub of all of my videos on this channel. After I switched to WMV, I started hearing little like blips in the music because it was a different bit rate. But also for the achievement farm, I switched it so that instead of using Silkweb's Crystal, I think it is, in the end hub, it instead had a bit of music from the game. I was preparing an achievement farm from Payday the Heist for upload while I'm gone, because you can do scheduled uploads, all of that, it's fine. But I recorded that a while back and replaced it in the upload order with something that I received as a request instead. So it was something I rendered and finished before I started using the music from the game instead. So I had to change the music. I cut the last 15 seconds of the audio and instead put in the music from Payday the Heist. In itself, not an issue, very simple to do. That was fine. And then when I was rendering it, for some reason, WMV hated this. Movie Plus could not cope with it. The music and the already rendered audio. I have no idea what went wrong. It was an MP4 file, because it was before I started having my graphics issues. There are a few little bit pixelation issues on the video, but I decided it wasn't worth scrapping. A quick bit of context. I do the end hubs. That's the bit at the end that shows the Tuapio logo, the links, and the clickable links to other videos. I call that the end hub, because it's a hub to other videos and it's at the end, blah blah. I leave those blank apart from the next video in a series, so that I can upload my videos in whatever order, and I can just switch out edit it very quickly before I upload it to put in the end hubs. That's why a couple of them are uploaded with blank end hubs, because I forgot to update it with links before I uploaded it. I've now come up with a system so that I don't accidentally do that anymore. Not the point. Again, I keep getting off track. But anyway, rendering this, because the other main issue with the WMV is it took a lot longer. An MP4, it would take about 1.5 times the length of the video to render. So for Portal or Borderlands, it would take about 15 to 20 minutes to render an episode. And this was back in the good quality times. And that was good. That was a very nice time. If I was running late, I could quickly render it and then upload it without it having to be left until the next day because it's too late on in the day. But then WMV took so much longer. An example that really helped me realise it was something was going wrong was a 2.5 minute or 1.5 minutes or something achievement farm video took 23 minutes to render, when normally it should take 3 maximum. That might not sound like too long, but with this aforementioned payday achievement farm, it took 35 to 40 minutes per render. And this is a 2 or 3 minute video. And it takes just over half an hour per render. And because I don't know the audio settings it wants, I had to keep rendering it in each of the settings until it finally, until I could find one that behaved. So in total, I spent near enough 8 hours rendering a 3-minute video. And during that time, I can't really use the desktop. I can't play any games on it because that would slow down the rendering time and slow down the game. Some games can cope with it, others can't. I just use it as a time to do something else, read a book or watch a TV show or something. This took 8 hours. I did it over the course of 2 bloody days because I spent 4 hours on it one day, and it's like, you know what? It's getting on for 10 o'clock at night. I want to play a bloody game. So then I went on Left 4 Dead 2 with Boris92 for a bit, just to get my mind off this stupid bloody rendering. And then the next day it's like, okay, right, I should really get this video sorted because I'm getting close to my going on holiday and I really need to get this done. So I then spent another 4 hours, and it's still, none of them worked. The audio at the end, the audio of the actual achievement farm was fine. But the last 15 seconds of music was so jumpy and laggy, it was unrecognisable as bloody music. And in the end, it was just like, screw it, I cannot be bothered to waste another 4 hours of my time. Because it's not like I can just like leave it and go off. Alright, I can leave it and go off like every half hour, but half an hour is still ridiculous. To have to come back and it's like, alright, click, listen to it. No, not working, redo it. And it was insane. And in the end, it was, I gave up on it and did it as an MP4. And of course, then it took 5 minutes to render, worked perfectly. The audio was fine, and the quality dropped a little bit. And this was after I reinstalled Movie Plus. I reinstalled Movie Plus and did it as an MP4, and it dropped the quality a little bit, but it worked fine, which is the one that will be uploaded in my absence. It's Lay on Hands is the achievement. It may sound like I'm just ranting over nothing, but it's just not right. I shouldn't have to make a choice between quality or time. Not when 3 months ago I got both. I could render a perfect quality video in 15 minutes. And now Portal and Borderlands take about an hour. Each achievement farm, which I remind you are between 1 and 4 minutes long, take 40 minutes. I mean, I spent the entirety of yesterday rendering the videos for my absence after I reinstalled Movie Plus. And I couldn't even do them on MP4 because although the first one reduced the quality a little bit, the others reduced it a lot. So I had to do them all as WMVs. And luckily all of those already had their sound sorted, so I just got the little bit of beeping or blipping or whatever you want to call it in the N-Hub. But it's just not right. I've had enough of this. Movie Plus has been acting up for months, and it's got to the point now where I cannot be bothered to mess with it anymore. So, if I'd had more time, if I wasn't going on holiday tomorrow, I would have spent the time to get this sorted. but I don't have the time at the moment. So when I'm back, I'm going to try some other editors. I know that, I think it's Adobe Premiere has a free trial, and I'm hoping that's the full version of it, so that I can give it a proper try, because editors aren't cheap. They're approximately 50 quid unless you get them in a sale. Because Charlie and Evan, they got them in a recent sale, a Sarah sale, and they got Movie Plus 5 for a discount, but 50 quid is a lot of money for an editor that might not work. Because I know these things, I know the issues, like the Fraps codec and the bitrate, I know the words, and I know what I'm doing enough to fiddle with it, but I have no idea what this stuff actually means. What the hell is a codec? It's something that compresses or decompresses or reads it. And the bit rate, you can see the bit rate of audio in the properties, and it's like, oh, it's 256 kilohertz or killer something or whatever. And I select 256 and that doesn't work, and it's like, was it lying to me? Or am I reading it wrong? I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works well enough to actually use it properly. And I could spend the time learning it. And I've been doing this long enough, so I should probably know what the words mean, but I haven't needed to for like 2 years. 3 years, or let's see, I started this about 3 years ago now, doing YouTube videos. And I've not had to learn these things for 3 years, so I feel I shouldn't have to learn them now. This rant's gone on a fair bit longer than I expected it to, but I appreciate if you've stuck around and listened to it. I just wanted to explain why the quality's been dropping, why there have been these blank patches, and I feel bad about the poor quality because I pride myself on perfectionism. I'm a perfectionist, and it grates on me no end that I can't fix these issues. Now, I do watch through all of my videos thoroughly once or twice before uploading them. Once after I finish editing to make sure it's all there and the audio and visuals are all working. Once again after I add in the EndHub stuff, and occasionally once again then before I actually upload the video. So I can watch my stuff 3 times through, but I shouldn't need to watch through them. I should be able to edit it, and what I see in the editor is what the final product looks like. I shouldn't need to check through for visual glitches, audio silence, because the editor has cocked up somewhere. I'm dedicated to quality, but I also have other stuff to do. I was planning on doing a PokeSins. I have recorded the sins of the next 2 episodes of PokeSins. Because the writing and the recording of sins, easy enough. I can just sit down and pretty much in half an hour come up with the sins for an episode. It's the editing that takes the time. And with the way that the editor is misbehaving, I don't want to spend 6 hours editing an episode of PokeSins, only for the editor to then go, you know what, I'm just not going to work today. So yeah, lose your 6 hours of work. If I do end up using a new editor after I'm back from holiday, and I really think I will, Movie Plus is just disappointing. I don't want to then lose those 6 hours because the editing files won't be compatible. I know they won't be compatible because Movie Plus 5 and Movie Plus 6 files aren't compatible. Movie Plus 6 and Adobe Premiere won't be compatible. I doubt I'd even be able to copy and paste between them, so I'm going to have to remake all the stuff that I've been using as standard. Like the co-op intro, the PokeSins ending, the PokeSins intro, all of those. I keep them as files so that I can just copy and paste with the slight tweaks. So I don't have to re-bloody make them each time because that would take frickin' ages. I was going to have PokeSins 10, I believe it is, ready to upload in about 2 days, actually. I think that was when it was supposed to go up. Because I read out a schedule. But I've had to tweak that schedule so many times because of time constraints, because of personal issues, meaning I can't record, and because of this bloody editor that's just falling over and going blah. Thanks for sticking around and listening to all of this. I really appreciate it. This has gone on for a lot longer than I anticipated, but it's a rant I've been thinking about having now for weeks. Thank you for watching. I'm going to go spend 2 weeks in Scotland now. I will probably have no internet, so I won't be able to add achievement farms to Steam guides, and I won't be able to reply to YouTube comments, so if you comment in the next couple of weeks, I'm not ignoring you, I'm just not here. Catch you later.